right, so how to write protest music.
Right.
Okay. I feel that that's a great question. I also feel like it's a tricky one because, like we were saying earlier, protest music in and of itself is just like speaking truth to power, but it can also be, you know, just talking about things that are going on in your immediate life, you know, whether it's, okay, the water isn't hot enough, I don't know, whatever the situation is. So I feel like the first step to writing protest music for me is to just be honest.
Right.
Is to be like brutally honest. And I know that's tough. And I know, and again, I tread lightly because I understand I'm the foreigner saying that. But like, as a person who's listened to and covered a lot of protest music, it's all very honest, even if it doesn't talk about immediate things. And it can also be instrumental. Because I also listen to a lot of like spiritual jazz and black liberation jazz and stuff like that. And you can convey a sense of protest just with a different sort of assembly of notes. And so I don't know if you're into like doing something instrumental, maybe that's a way to get around it. And that also kind of gets to the second question too, where it's like, I've seen it work that way too. Like if we're talking about protest music, you also have something like, this is jazz musician, Kamasi Washington. Came up with an epic.
Yep.
No words on it really, but it still sort of captured the tone of what was going on in 2015.
Absolutely.
This other band, Shabaka and the Ancestors, they came up with a record called Wisdom of Elders, same exact, where it's no words on it, but he's speaking truth to power. So that would be how I would do it personally. It's just like, because I understand you're living in a place where it's not like America where you can talk trash. You could have talked trash about Donald Trump all day. No one would have said anything. It's different here. So I also understand that you kind of have to walk that line a little bit. And I think that gets to your question, my man, about you said like how to do that and still be able to live and how to like maintain a lifestyle. That's a great question. I would also say that like you need strength in numbers, I think it's easy for me to sit up here and say, I'm gonna write a protest song, and you say, I'm gonna write a protest song. But if you get a group of people, like a big group of people doing the same thing and having the same sort of groundswell towards this idea of liberation, freedom, then I feel like there's no way they can ignore your voice. That's just my opinion. That's how I would do it. That's how I've seen it done. So like, you know, even 4 years ago when Donald Trump got elected in the US, you had this slew of protest music. It wouldn't have had the same impact if it was just one person talking. Mm. But the fact that you had everybody from Kendrick to, you name it, you know, across the board, all kinds of people, the names are escaping me now, it had more of an impact because everybody was sort of speaking to that. And apologies for my memory. If you could just briefly remind me your question one more time. Oh, protest music here. Okay.
And its contribution to, I guess, the world.
Okay. Now here's why I admit, like for the past couple of years, I was on a crazy deadline for the book. So every day it was just, okay, I had to write 4,000 words. I gotta write 10,000. So I haven't dipped into protest music as much as I would want. I mentioned that band Duma, and the reason why I keep going back to them is because I was surprised to know that there's a metal scene here. And that's just my ignorance. Like, I had no idea. The town didn't strike me as having a metal presence. But I feel like having spoken to them, and then from there having, kind of gone back through the archives of Bandcamp and seeing what's going on, and I think there's an ambient musician here too who sort of conveys protest in his music. And then you also have Blinky. So I feel that, admittedly, I still have to do a little bit more study, but what I've heard so far, I mean, I guess Doom is an extreme example, but I feel, I think that's a level of music I still need to sort of unpack a little bit more, if I'm being honest.